of this event series within June. Um, and this one, so welcome. So today's title is Own Your Worth and Name Your Price. I'm really passionate about helping women with money mindset and everything that it comes with. I think I could talk about it straight for a month, and I do have a chapter dedicated to it in my book coming out in September. So I'm super excited. So why is it so hard for women? We'll touch base on the emotional weight of pricing and why it keeps women small, value versus cost, what you really sell, and how to confidently price your offers without justifying every single dollar. So, behind the scene, underpricing is often the trust issue, not just the marketing issue. So you're not selling a service, you are selling a shift in someone's life. So let's get into that. Um, so last week we were talking about Think Richer, rewriting your money story. So it's really important what we believe in and what we realize that we were taught all our lives. So we had massive breakthroughs. If you are joining in now, please watch the replay from last week because it's a really good foundation for this session as well. They work individually too, but it's really important. So how we manage our energy, it just comes back in everything we do, whether it's life or business. Um, but this week we are tackling the most emotionally loaded topic for women in business, and this is pricing. And I know it trips everyone up. The sales calls, the just announcing our pricing, it can be really difficult. But we are not just talking about the numbers itself. Why is it so hard? What is the emotional weight? So let's talk about what we've been taught. Don't charge too much. You should be grateful people want to work with you. What if they say it's too expensive? Like it's all these thoughts are circulating in our heads. Maybe it sounds familiar. And if you want to um, let us know either in the chat or in a comment, what kind of thoughts are circulating in your head when it comes to pricing or determining the value of your services. So the real issue to begin with is pricing isn't hard because we don't know the maths or, we don't know the strategy or we are bad at maths. It's about how you feel about it and what you identify with. So when you price your offer, you are not just naming a number, you are revealing what you believe about your value. And that's where the hardship kicks in. So let me say it again. You're not just naming a number, you are revealing what you believe about your value. So ask yourself, do I hesitate before I stating my price? Do I over explain or immediately offer discount? Do I compare myself to others who seem further ahead? These things all indicators that you don't give yourself full permission um, to charge for something that is really valuable or not charge as much or not charge with confidence. Um, so unfortunately, because we were taught to people please, avoid being too much, settle for Astrid is coming to join us, or settle for what's safe. These all play part in our decisions and in our thought processes. So the most underpricing comes from fear of rejection, fear of losing a client, guilt about receiving. And I think this is really sneaky because that's really hard to recognize. So the guilt around receiving can be, really hard to tackle. Lack of belief that you are worth it. And none of that is solved by adjusting your rates. because that's one thing we tend to jump in. If you don't hear anything or we don't sell things in a short amount of time, we jump into the conclusion, oh, it must be too expensive. People think it's too expensive. They can't afford it, right? It should not be the first thing that comes to mind at all. So we can solve this issue by upgrading our self-concept. So how we perceive ourselves is how others will perceive us, right? So just let's recognize the patterns that show up: overgiving, undercharging, and avoiding the price altogether, right? We'd rather just not do the sales part. And just a lot of resentment around money. I want you to say, even if it's just for yourself, what's your current price on something that you are doing? Would you feel safe raising it by 30%? Or would your brain completely freak out on you and say, oh my gosh, no, that's not an option? So let's notice if you have any discomfort around this topic and then reframe it. Pricing isn't about asking for more, it's about honoring the transformation you provide. Okay? And I really want to dig into this part because value versus cost. So when we create our own businesses, we don't want to become slaves and ditch 9 to 5 for 24/7 because that's not a quality change. But it's a common trap we can fall in. So we have to start thinking as a CEO and as a creator, not as an employee, because we are no longer exchanging money for time. So we are not selling hours, we are not selling tasks, we are selling a shift, a transformation, a solution that can make a huge difference in someone's life. And I think last week we touched base on how much harder we find to sell something that is, so to speak, intangible. So we are not promising, oh, you will get $20,000 per month, or you are not saving 10 hours a week. We are saying that you will be calm and present and flexible enough to be with your children, grandchildren, and that you'll feel great in your skin. These things are much harder to materialize, but we shouldn't, because not everything has a dollar value. So this is another thing that we touched base on last week. So watch the replay. It's really important. So the transformation, the shift, the solution we offer. For example, a fitness coach is not selling workouts. They sell confidence, energy, health, vitality, a new lifestyle, right? Or the brand designer is not selling a logo, selling visibility, trust, premium perception. All these things come in a package. So when you price something, ask yourself, what's the cost of not working with me? And that's a very powerful one. What's the cost of not working with me? What happens if they don't sign up with you? What do they lose? What is the emotional, financial, or time-based return of investment for them? And what kind of shift am I guiding someone through? Just imagine when you went through something really, really difficult in your life and you had to do it on your own. You didn't get any support. You may have even gotten some resistance within your close circles, whether it's family or friends. How did it feel to go through all this on your own? And maybe you didn't even find the solution. So how did you feel in the same situation still for a long time? So these things are so valuable and so eye-opening, what you really need to value for yourself. So position your price around the shift, not the service itself. So we don't think about hours or tasks. or guides, we are thinking about the shift, the transformation. Any questions so far, or anything you'd like to share from your experience? Please pop it in the chat or unmute yourself and ask away. If not, I can carry on. And I can tell you my story. I was doing a freebie because it was very at the beginning, and I created a workshop how to distress yourself and how to become grounded in what you are doing. So it was like a really meditational, around gratitude, affirmations, and just really being able to step into the best version of yourself. And I even had difficulties promoting that, even though I was giving it for completely free of charge. But I felt like I was bothering people, asking for their time. But if they don't like what I put together, and I was working endlessly on my landing page and perfecting the presentation in Canva and all those things, yet I did not have the confidence, to offer that something that I gave willingly and wholeheartedly for free of charge. So it doesn't even have to come with a price. We can put these ideas in our heads, and it's just really important to demolish these blocks that hold us back from doing our best. And yes, the other thing is that is really hard for us, that ties into the topic, that we don't trust ourselves, because we are just conditioned to having to prove that we are the best, we have the most experience, um, we have the best qualification. And it doesn't have to be the case. Just because you are only 5 steps ahead of someone, that means the world to them, and that's exactly what they need. So you don't have to be like 5 million steps ahead of someone. It might actually be even repelling for them because it seems too far away, too out of reach. So we need to trust that what we have to offer is valuable and someone needs it. A lot of people will need it. Just imagine if your ideal client cried themselves into sleep tonight, not knowing what to do, and you have the exact solution. I want you to see that it's really, really amazing what you have. And because you have this calling, it means that you have what it takes to help people, and the world needs it. So trust the process, trust your delivery, trust your value, and your also, which is important, trust your client's capacity to pay and commit. Because that's what we question a lot, right? Oh, they don't have the time, they don't have the money, they can't do this. No, just trust your client's capacity to pay and commit. Because we can't really micromanage other people's wallets, right? We don't know. We don't know. I don't know if you are an impulse buyer or make a decision based on research and figuring out all the finest details. I'm a little bit of a combination to of the two, but mainly impulsive buyer. Once I think that I need it, I just jump on board and I'm happy to go with the flow. But the price objection comes up a lot. That's a big one. When people say the price objection that, oh, I think it's too expensive, it just means that they don't have enough information. They don't see the value in what you are doing. And it's not because the value is not there, it's because it's either not communicated well, or your energy doesn't reflect it. And people do pick up on that. So look, if it came to having always available funds for buying things that we are buying, we probably, most people wouldn't have a house or a car or send their kids to college, and these things. So it's really, purchasing something is not about having money for it or not, but getting a little bit detailed because that's another huge topic, the price objections and other objections that come up during sales. But yeah, it was important to mention this one in this part. So when you don't need to lower your price for someone to say yes. I just want you to know that because you need to raise your belief so they feel the confidence and follow it. Because if they believe that you are the person to help them, they won't have any issues to say yes. So because people don't buy when we convince them, first of all, we don't do that, but it's not about convincing people. They buy when they trust you. And they trust you when you trust yourself. Okay. Um, and then clear how to, so after all this, knowing what's holding us back, what is the soul process that belongs with us and what we just project on others. So how can we claim the price without apology and with confidence? So let me give you 3 shifts to a confident pricing. Um, so as we talk this through, price the shift, not the hours itself. So what do people walk away with? Confidence, clarity, freedom, identity shift, income. So what is the transformation? So lead with certainty. That's number 2. Don't negotiate against your offer. Clients feel your energy before they hear the number. And detach from yes. You are not for everyone. Pricing with self-trust filters your dream clients. Like I said at the beginning, it's not necessarily the price that is wrong with your offer, but we tend to jump into that conclusion straight away. So maybe they are just not for you, they are not for each other, and that's fine. Okay, so let's detach from the yes. We are not focusing on people buying from us, we are just focusing on putting that offer out there confidently, and just think of it as like an energy exchange between them and yourself. So if you don't feel great about your offer, the price, even deep down without realizing it, there will be, that harmony will be broken and they will pick up on it. They might not know what it is, but just something feels off and they will go off. And the same, if someone, if you think that they will think it's too expensive or this and that is wrong with it, then once again that harmony breaks. So think of the pricing as part of the full package and as an energy exchange between two parties, you and your audience or ideal clients. Would someone mind telling me what is the shift you deliver for your clients?
I do branding and website design.
Mm-hmm.
So the shift that I deliver is going from not being clear on who you are and your brand and
Mm-hmm.
into being clear and being able to broadcast that across different channels.
Excellent. So you're not just selling a website design, you're selling this whole journey for their clients that they can see, and yeah, and it translates into connections and sales for them. So that's great. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else would like to share? That's okay. And let me tell you here what I was really struggling at the beginning. And first of all, I didn't give myself the permission to succeed. So that was a major holdback for myself, just in general. Let me see what was in the chat. So Astrid said that for me, I would say freedom. I help people release heavy energies holding them back, creating freedom. You see, that's beautiful. And that's a perfect example as well, what I said. You can't say that, oh, you'll be better off by 10K or a month, or, you save 10 hours a day, a week. from your time, it's the freedom. And I had an earlier live on this topic alone that, this is what people seek. This is how we can speak their love language. Everyone seeks freedom in one form or other. It can mean many different things, but yes, freedom is what we are seeking. We don't like being forced or feeling trapped or unable to do things, right? So that always comes back to this very core human desire, freedom. So thank you for sharing, Astrid. And then, me at the beginning, not giving myself permission to succeed, all I knew was that I wanted to help women become confident and successful, but I didn't have a clear path. Who are they exactly? What am I exactly helping them with? What is the exact outcome, the benefit? Because it's such a vogue topic. Like if I say that, oh, easy hair care in the morning, like what does it mean? Some women have such curly and thick hair that it takes them, I don't know, 2 hours to straighten their hair. That means something completely different for them than for me fixing my hair, my crazy curls and the frizz in 5 minutes in the morning, right? So we have to be specific. We have to know who we are talking to. So when I was very unclear myself and didn't give myself permission to succeed, I was just floating, and everything was good that I came up with, individually on a micro level, but there was no connection, and I never had the courage and bravery to just showcase them to the world. So that that's just really important part of the puzzle. So we shared what is the shift we deliver, and then now, so what is the story I'm still telling myself about what's too much, whatever the too much means in brackets, right? So what is holding us really back? What are the thoughts? Because I like getting really action oriented at this part, because we can only change what we know what's wrong, right? We can't change what we don't know. So if we know exactly what's circulating in our heads, and sometimes it takes a little process to bring it out, and admit to ourselves or discover what it is. But then once we know, then we can address that. Okay. And then we can attack it like, oh, is it true or is it false? Is it made up by my brain or is it facts? So then we can go through that process, that challenge it. Okay, I hear it, but what if? And what happens if that way? So we can play with it, we can experiment with the whole thing, and we can really debunk it in a fun and easy, light way. So if you want to do a quick exercise, even if just for yourself, hang on, Veronica is saying that I can translate that into a brand where you are free to be yourself. I'm all about authenticity. You see, that's beautiful, because we can't bring our own into our business if we don't feel that it aligns with us 100%. And, providing, translate it into a brand that where you are free to be yourself and there is no holding back, right? We can just flourish and bloom. So authenticity is so important, but this is the hardest thing. I see women hiding, and I was one of them 3 years ago, hiding behind, pretty pictures from Canva or stock pictures, and, just saying really good information, but nothing personal, no personal experiences behind, or no personality behind it, because we are afraid of being rejected or judged and all those things. So authenticity is so important. Veronica, you are 100% right. It's just really hard to bring it out due to all these, old beliefs that we need to change and shift. So if you go through a little process for yourself, what do I currently change for my service? Why did I choose that number? This is very important, going deeper. Why did I choose that number? How does it feel to say it out loud? You can even practice in the mirror. And once again, if you had to raise it 30% tomorrow, what comes up? What kind of feelings? Do you get scared, or you are okay, or oh damn, yeah, I really should do this, right? So just go through this little exercise and use the workbook, because for every week we have a page of exercise in what you received, um, and then once again, let's circle back to the shift that you sell, because you are not just a coach, a service provider, a designer, or an expert. You are a facilitator of transformation. And what makes you unique that we often forget. Um, and before that, just let me say that I see women over and over again saying, "Oh, I'm not an expert. I don't have a certification. I don't have a qualification for that." So we completely downplay ourselves straight away. And I know I said it at the beginning as well, but it is so important to see our own values, because you are an authority figure who can reclaim time, energy, power, joy, profit, freedom in any form for your clients. And it's so important to communicate it, to stand confidently in your truth. Yes, this is me, and I'm doing this for you. And even another really good example that I have with my clients with, that they feel that, oh, but I haven't overcome this issue 100%. And my answer to that is, who has? Like, we are constantly evolving. It's not like we get to a stage and we say, "Oh, I got it all figured out. Now I can just kick back and do nothing. I'm good. I'm set for life." It's not how it works. We are constantly facing challenges, new or old ones coming back. We constantly have to work on ourselves as well. So there is no such thing that I've made it. It doesn't happen this way, right? Because even when we've made it, we discover that there is an other level. So I just want you to see the transformation you can offer in that moment where you are exactly, because that's the value for people. That's exactly what they need to hear from you. And I think it's even really beautiful to let someone into the messy middle as well, because we can talk about all our achievements and how far we've come, which is amazing. It's inspirational. We are not bragging, we are showing the light that it's possible. But also, it's so rare to see the examples when people tell you that, well, I'm just in the middle of it and I feel awful and I'm just figuring it out, but I don't care what it takes. I'm determined that I'm going to make it work. I'm going to do the work what it takes for me. I think it's really, really appealing for people to see that real raw part of you as well. Because it's not like you are a superhero figure and it's all rainbows and cupcakes. You are very relatable because you tell them, what you have gone through, or in the past, if it's already finished, that you came out on the other end. So just that one, oh my gosh, we could talk about that one for much longer too. So just place from this price that you accept yourself as you are, you trust yourself, you trust what you are doing, and you trust that people need it, and there is a demand for it, and people are paying for your services. So let's create a quick uh, pricing power statement that you can use. Um, so just to anchor in this pricing mindset, we can say something like, I charge X because I help whoever your dream client is go from this struggle to this result. Okay, so I charge X because I help my dream client go from struggle to result. My work creates transformation. and I no longer apologize for it. Okay, let me drop this one into the chat for you guys so you can just grab it, don't have to write it down. So if you can copy and paste it for yourself in the document or not. And it's really powerful. And every time we dig deeper in whatever challenges we face, it just gives us more clarity and more confidence. I've been going through something really major the last couple of days, earlier this week. And I decided to do it myself versus relying on my beautiful, beautiful circle of friends. Because I felt that if I tackle it on my own, I can just really, really do the inner work that it takes because it was a big shift, a big transformation. And I don't recommend it to everyone to do it on your own. It's much better with help, whether it's a coach, a friend, a family member, a mentor, but I'm at the stage that I can take on this higher level, digging deeper. So it's just for the transformation that I'm seeing, and the clarity for myself, I can 100% confirm that it's really worth doing this work. Just keep asking those challenging questions and dig deeper. Why is it happening? Why do I feel this way? What is my deepest desire? What is the best outcome? What do I want to do and see? In other words, be the change you want to see in the world, right? As the famous quote goes. Um, so if this conversation sparks something in you, if you are ready to finally own your worth and rise from power, I invite you to continue this inside the Feminine Energy and Business Mastery membership. You'll get weekly trainings like this, but even much deeper, and life coaching and content audits, resources to help you brand, price, and sell with confidence. And every element of the business is not just pricing, of course. Support from a circle of bold women doing business the feminine way. And I still have, let me share my screen for this part. And I just love the landing page as well. And I also have a massive bonus because I broke down the same offer to 3 different layers wherever you are in your journey, um, income and client wise, and your evolution for the business itself. So we have 3 ways to rise, and we have the membership more like for beginners, and the brand and marketing certification that gives you expert level confidence and marketing mastery. And if you are at the level where you need high level connection and momentum, the mastermind and networking give you an elevated room to rise and expand. So that's by application and invitation only. But what is amazing about, you'll find some more information here, and I put in the link in the comments as well. Chat. So that's, the power of the community I keep raving about is that we can learn so much from each other as well. We can ask questions, or someone can ask the questions for us that we maybe don't even think of, or we don't have the courage or not ready to ask yet. And it's an incredible value, $97 per month. And then the certification that is still open till Tuesday next week, you get it for completely free. So that's a $3,000 program on its own that is available separately for everyone who is not taking up this offer. And that's going to be something that where you can feel that, oh my gosh, I'm happy to wear this badge that I know this game completely inside and out, and I can go out and confidently apply it in my business as well. So feel free to ask me any questions, regarding this. And then we have the mastermind and networking as well with application. So please take a look at the landing page and reach out. You can ask any questions now, or you can reach me by DM or email, in any form, and we can have a little chat. We can set up a short Zoom meeting as well if you'd like to know whether it's really for you, how it works for you, and what you really gain. So that was today's lesson. And once again, if you have any questions related to the topic we were talking about today, or this membership or other elements of my offer, please feel to get in touch. But I want you to remember that you don't need to justify your price. Okay, so you don't have to explain yourself. You just need to embody it, because that's part of you, and handle it like it's part of your soul and heart, because that's what you put into your work. So the price can reflect that. Absolutely. So just feel it as your own, and let's shift the energy around your income, because that's so important. You deserve $1 million and beyond, and you don't need to be ashamed of wanting to earn a lot of money. So next week um, we'll go through the wealth attraction formula, because I believe in no chasing, but attracting the right opportunities, the right clients, the right income that you were born to make happen. So I'm excited about next week's topic as well. The formula you just gave us is golden. I'm so pleased to hear that. I'm really, really happy. Thank you for the feedback, Astrid. So I'm just trying to grab a screenshot of that. Anyone has any other comments or questions? Please unmute yourself or pop it in the chat. I hope I'm not scary to talk to. We can talk about anything. Awesome. Look, if this is it, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and energy. I know time is a very precious resource, and I hope you took away a lot from this session. So thank you so much. I'm really honored that you blessed me with your presence, and have an amazing rest of your week. Thank you. Bye. Ciao for now.